Okay. Let's talk to, oh my gosh, Gohan in Texas. Gohan, is that your actual name?
No. It's I just stole it because it's my favorite character. But
I mean,
okay. Eric has made a decision about you already.
I have. I'm kind of a
good, bad.
I'm kind of a Piccolo man myself.
Okay,
but
so pretty much Gohan's dad.
Yeah.
I guess
or unless we're talking about like the Great Saiyan Man, maybe. I'm pretty cool. I like.
Let's not go there.
Hey! All right, now we're gonna fight. Go on. What did you want to talk about today?
Okay, so I've had some pro-life questions, and I've gotten like a little bit of an idea of like kind of what a lot of people think about pro-life or pro-choice.
Okay.
And I just have a couple of questions that I was going to just try to say really quickly. See if you guys could say either yes, you agree, no, you don't agree, or
let's establish a baseline first.
Maybe you agree.
Let's make sure we're on the same page. So it says here that you're a religious scholar, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And what is your current standpoint on abortion?
Well, I try not to let my religion tell me anything about abortion or not, but I am pro-life. I know most Christians are. Not most. A fair amount are, but
so
that's not the reasoning for it. I try not to let that be the reasoning.
Well, I mean, you can be pro-life and also pro-abortion, right? I like living people.
True. Sure.
Right? I would prefer to be alive myself.
Sure.
And also...
And I understand the terms are weighted. Pro-life isn't... Yeah. That's not saying people who are pro-choice are not pro-life. I completely understand that.
Let's zero it down to pro-abortion and anti-abortion, because that really is the topic that we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
And then the other thing that I need to preface this with is you're talking to two people who are not the spokespeople for atheism, right? Atheism is specifically a religious claim. Mm-hmm. And
I mean, Christopher Hitchens was anti-abortion? Is that the term?
Yes.
Yeah, so I understand it's not.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Okay.
And I've actually picked up some secular pro-life videos on YouTube.
Okay, so you understand this is just our opinions.
Yeah.
Okay. Shoot, what do you got?
Okay, so I was telling the call screener I have 6 questions, and I was wondering if I could just kind of say them, let you guys reply, yes, you agree, no, you don't agree, or you don't know. And then after we go through all 6, you could defend your stances, and each question takes 5 seconds to say.
What I'm worried about is a Gish Gallop.
Yeah.
I'm afraid that when they all get posited, we're not going to really have the time or depth to go into it. So let's...
Okay, can I cut that down to 3?
Yeah, and let's do them one at a time. Give us your best, and let's go from there. So, that way we can interact.
Yeah.
I guess before I do the questions, do you guys have the view that life begins at fertilization or no?
No.
I think that you have to define what life is, because technically the sperm is alive before it just is by itself. So life.
Sorry, go on.
Yeah. Is it alive? Yes, in the most basic biological term. Is it a full human? No.
So I was just going to say, I don't want to get into it too much, because I do kind of want to just go along with the questions, but I was just trying to kind of get a baseline of where you guys are.
Sure.
I don't really want to offer my own opinions unless you guys ask for them.
Well,
which I don't mind giving them, but this is kind of more of an interview, I guess.
I mean, we'll do our best as long as it's good TV. If not, It might be better to do it in the Discord.
Also, disclaimer, we are not scientists.
No.
So biology and embryology and all of those things are going to be a little bit outside.
You don't need to be a scientist to know when life begins.
Well,
so I would argue a couple things. Number one, I really don't care about, life in general. I've pulled weeds. I've squished bugs. Those things are also alive. I've got bacteria.
We kill bacteria every time we brush
all of that. So we're not talking about life. We're talking about human life.
Talk about human. Right.
And then specifically when it comes to human life, I would say that someone who is brain dead, who has a working, functioning body, but a brain that is just not there, so you've got those core kind of lizard brain things still pumping the heart and the lungs, but nobody's home. They're gone. I would consider someone like that dead.
So that's kind of like more of what these questions are addressing. Not exactly is it a life or not, but like certain circumstances. So I'll start with the first one. Conjoined twins grow up. One becomes completely dependent on the other. The other one doesn't need the other twin. If the one that is not dependent wishes to be separate, thus killing the other conjoined twin, and let's say they're like 25, where would do you guys say that's okay, it's not okay, or you don't know?
I don't think that really comes into play when you're talking about abortion.
Yeah, it's a completely different situation.
Bodily autonomy. Well, that's the bodily autonomy argument.
Right, but you're talking about those twins who are assuming, we're assuming actualized human beings.
Right, who have known each other for 25 years.
And have a history, who've actually lived a life and had a childhood and made friends, and all of that good stuff. So I don't think that that's a comparison that I would even be comfortable with starting on,
And the reason you're saying that is because you don't think that the fetus, or even before that, is a human as much as a 25-year-old is a human.
Right. I think that there's potential there. And, before a child is born, you have the potential for a child. In the same way that I look at an egg and I see a potential chicken, I see an acorn and I see a potential tree.
Well, there's a difference between like a fertilized egg and an unfertilized egg, right?
Right. Okay, a fertilized
with the chicken.
Dude, I came from a ranch where we ate fertilized eggs.
Yeah, like people also eat those.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the whole. I prefer the bodily autonomy argument for...
And I think this one addresses the bodily autonomy argument because it's showing that
but it doesn't.
Bodily autonomy is not 100% like things trump bodily autonomy like someone else's life.
Well, it's a completely different scenario, though, and I wouldn't even say that someone else's life completely trumps bodily autonomy. I would also...
So then would you be okay for just this scenario? I know you're saying it's different.
No, I wouldn't be okay about it. Nobody in that situation would be okay about it. It's a terrible situation.
Not okay. Wrong choice of words. Do you think it's permissible? Because from the anti-abortion perspective, this 25-year-old life is the same life as a fetus.
No, so that's not.
That's why I know you guys are saying
that's not accurate, though.
From an anti-abortion perspective, it is.
No, it's not. It's not. Nobody in the anti-abortion movement is saying that a fetus is the same as a 25-year-old person.
I bet you we could find one.
That's true at all.
Okay, there's probably nobody. Generalization. Okay. Yes.
No. Even if I'm not trying to play the generalization.
Sure.
I think everybody in the anti-abortion side views a fetus the same value as a 25-year-old person.
Right, and I would say, from my personal standpoint, I don't equate those.
No, I don't know many people who do.
Well,
if any.
I guess you don't know many anti-choice people.
I'm sorry, anti-abortion people. As opposed to
anti-abortion.
Sorry, yes. Okay.
Got it.
My bad. Yes, I agree.
So, yeah, from the anti-abortion or sorry, I keep forgetting the term.
That's okay.
From that side perspective, it is comparable because a life a human life is a human life. But for you guys, it's not comparable because a fetus is not a human life the same as a 25-year-old person. It's not a human life. Did I summarize that fairly?
We would have to go into what we are defining as human life, because technically on a biological level, molecularly, yes, it's a human and it's alive on some level, but that's not the argument. The argument is not whether or not it's a human life, or it shouldn't be, in my opinion.
I mean, if we start going down that rabbit hole, it gets to gray really quickly, and
I don't know.
It's going to vary by person.
Again, that's my anti-abortion scientific perspective.
Well,
I understand you guys have a different.
I know very few scientific perspectives that are black and white. I'm going to be honest.
And I mean,
I think I'm pretty black and white on a couple of things, right?
So let's hold on. I think we're talking about the scientific method, which is not black and white, and proven scientific findings, which we can study. And so in that way, I think that there's a miscommunication here. So I'm just kind of pointing that out.
That's fair.
Okay.
But that said, it feels more like we're leading down a rabbit hole that's going to take us to the trolley problem.
No. So the trolley problem, I don't mind that problem, but a lot of these questions kind of deal with situations like that kind of give us a look into how somebody views the the abortion question.
Sure. If only the ACA had shows that had more people and more time to specifically talk about things like this.
I know.
That talk about sex. Second
well, I do know that Matt wants to talk to you.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, he'd like you to call back for the Atheist Experience.
Both
said that at the same time.
Also, I was watching
a couple of his debates with a secular, I forget her name. He had a debate with a secular pro-life lady a couple years ago. Mm-hmm. And I had a couple of questions, and that's kind of where a couple of these questions started.
Okay. So I think the point that I want to leave you with is nobody is saying that they are okay with these things. Nobody's saying that it's an easy black and white choice.
Would be a better word.
Permissible is very different than okay. And I think that a lot of people, I know you just used the word randomly, and I accept that, but a lot of anti-abortion people think that people would be just as okay killing a 25-year-old as a fetus or whatever that is. Nobody is arguing that, abortion's great. Go out and get one on your day off. Like, it is. We acknowledge that it's a hard thing to,
Abortion Access Front. It's another show on YouTube with Liz Winstead. It's Abortion Access Front, but they do abortions and the whole Shout Your Abortion movement, and
it's a valuable piece because women and people with uteruses need to feel like they're not alone and that they aren't. And 1 in 4 people with uteruses get abortions. 1 in 4 women. That's 25% of people. So if you have 4 women in a room, one of them. Yeah. So
I've heard it 1 in 3.
So shouting, the Shout Your Abortion movement, the talking about it, the making it culturally acceptable is important because that means that people feel less alone. That means that they can raise their voice and access healthcare and push for bills and for politicians and people who will support that kind of thing. But
discussions are always good.
Right, exactly. So that's all we're saying. Discussion, we're open to discussion.
I'm with you there.
Can I shout out a book that I would be totally excited if you read?
You can. I'm pretty far behind in books I'm supposed to read. So far.
Well, it's called The Story of Jane. Jane was a group that came together before abortion was legal in the United States that performed abortions for people who needed it. And it was told by those people who were involved there. And it gives a really interesting perspective on what things were like when ready access and available access to safe procedures like that, weren't there.
Like a lot of dangerous options. That's what they had to resort to.
And I think it's a kind of a harrowing, amazing story of some real heroes that is fun. If anybody's watching who hasn't read the story of Jane, check it out.
Also, just as a last note, being pro-choice means also supporting people's decisions to not have abortions. So if you are anti-abortion,
we're not pro-choice, right?
Well, yeah,
anti-choice, anti-abortion, or pro-abortion, not pro-choice or pro-life.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So you can be both anti-abortion and pro-choice. So if you personally would not get an abortion, Gohan, then you are 100. I 100% validate your choice to not get an abortion, as long as you are not restricting.
Similar to another comparison I can make, which I'm sure you guys are probably familiar with.
Gay marriage?
No, murder. Like, I'm personally against murder, but if you want to go murder, that's your choice. Or I'm personally against slavery, but if you want to own my next door neighbor, that's your choice.
You know that whole you can swing your arms around in the air all the way. You know, you have the right to swing your arms around up until the tip of my nose, right?
Right.
I think that's a pretty good little piece to live by.
Yeah, but, I agree, but I feel like that helps my argument more than yours.
I can see where you would see that, and I think that just has a whole lot to do with what.
I can see where you see yours as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think if you haven't checked out the story of Jane, and this is coming from one person who owns a penis to another person, I'm assuming, owns a penis. I
don't want to get into that too much.
I think that our opinions probably don't matter as much. I think we should listen.
Yeah, I think that sounds pretty sexist, but that's just me.
I think that those people who have the procedure and who are making that decision should be the ones kind of behind the wheel there. So
yeah, I mean, I could go to the same thing with slavery again, but
that's a conversation that I think
Matt would love.
Give a call. Library. Yeah, call AXP on that one.
I've watched Matt with the whole slavery topic, and I'm fine admitting that parts of the Bible were wrong, and I don't think slavery is good. But
yay!
That is. I'm glad we can agree on that.
Cheers. All right, Gohan. It was good talking to you, man.
Yeah, you too. And just maybe I shouldn't say it, but I'm going to say it anyways. I heard there is going to be a live-action Dragon Ball movie coming up, so just
another one.
You guys know. No. That one didn't exist. That one never happened.
Thank you, Gohan. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm terrified of this, by the way. Just leave it be.
It's owned by Disney now, so it's going to be different.
Well, maybe Master Roshi won't be such a perv. Anyway, I'm going to go. Take care, man.
All right. So what do I do? Do I hang on or what?
It's going to be like 2.5 hours.
Yeah. So call back round 4 CT.
Yep. Take it easy, man.
Round 4?
Yep.
All right. Thanks.
No problem. During that whole thing, there's so much discussion about Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z in the comments.
Which was the more important of the two topics discussed, I would say.
Agreed, and these are my people. I'm home. You are my people. Yes, there are better animes out there. Don't send me emails. I know. Before we dive into the next, what?
Nothing.
There are so many better.